God's enterprise, the greatest work that is taking place on this earth, never goes wanting. He always provides every necessary resource for His purposes to be accomplished through His church. Through the years, the ministry of Eastland Baptist Church has been characterized by God's faithfulness. He has faithfully provided men to shepherd the flock, the first being Larry Applegate, who started the church in October of 1968. Originally named Tulsa Baptist Tabernacle, the first service was held in the Cooper Elementary School with 14 people in attendance. The growing congregation, under Pastor Applegate's leadership, voted to change the name of the church to Eastland Baptist Church in March of 1972. June 22, 1973, 28-year-old Dave Hardy was called as pastor of Eastland, with the church averaging 58 in attendance. He and Grace gave sacrificially of their time, talents, and tears to build people by instilling in them the principles of the Word of God through their godly example of spiritual leadership of the flock. God faithfully provided the grace that enabled them to lead Eastland for 30 years of successful ministry. June 2003 marked the beginning of a new chapter in Eastland's history, as the mantle was passed by Pastor Hardy to Troy Durrell, who had joined the church staff as associate pastor in 1998. The Lord has faithfully used Pastor Durrell and his family to lead us forward in expanding the work of Eastland in our community and around the world, which reminds us of the fact that God not only has been faithful to provide men to shepherd the flock, but He has also been faithful to provide a vision and purpose in ministry. That vision and purpose is to see the lives of those with no hope changed through the power of the gospel. This vision and purpose is carried out through Bible classes for the smallest child to the oldest adult, outreach efforts including family track team and active bus ministry, weekly soul-winning ministry, missions projects at home and abroad, and a spirit-led music ministry. In addition to faithfully providing all these things, God has graciously provided ever-expanding facilities to house His dynamic, growing church. Eastland, by God's grace, has never stood still, but through the years, in miraculous ways, she has lengthened her cords and strengthened her stakes of ministry. From the replacement facility of 1976, built by faithful members following the tornado of 1975, to the expanded Sunday school space of 1983, to the Plaza 3 acquisition of 1990, up to the current sanctuary finished in 1992, God has been constantly changing the face of Eastland and has enlarged her heart for the accomplishment of His objectives.
In 1992, when the present sanctuary was being built, Pastor Hardy asked me to serve as the liaison person between the builder and himself, and I accepted that responsibility, not knowing fully what I would really be doing, but it was a privilege to do that.
My favorite memory was when Pastor was preaching about David, and then he started doing the David dance. I thought it was funny. My mom was in nursery, so she didn't get to see the service. I showed her what Pastor did, and then she said, "Baby, we don't dance."
My favorite memory in the sanctuary of Eastland Baptist Church is my salvation. My entire spiritual life began here at Eastland Baptist Church. It was November 28th, 1994. It was the first time for me to ever go to the altar in a church, and Frank Rhodes met me there, led me to the Lord, and I've been a child of God ever since, of course. And I also, as well, in 1997, August 3rd, in that same sanctuary, on one of those same exact altars, I was able to accept God's call upon my life to full-time ministry. And just a few years later, January 22nd of 1999, just above those steps and those altars where I'd made those great decisions, I took my wife's hand in marriage. We committed our lives to full-time service in marriage, and we'd be serving the Lord for the rest of our lives together. So Eastland Baptist Church and the sanctuary has made a great difference in my life here. and I appreciate it.
I have always loved whenever the summer interns come and do their skits for Family Track Team, and they get us all hyped up and get us ready to go to Family Track Team. But my favorite skit was when Daniel Fleet came crashing into the baptistry, and he dove into one of those round, inflatable round rings and proceeded to scream and holler and row himself over to the other side of the baptistry with an oar. And it was so funny. Everybody was laughing and cracking up, and we were all just about to cry. We were laughing so hard. And then it seemed like all at the same moment, we looked over at Preacher Hardy, and Preacher Hardy was not laughing. Preacher Hardy was not even smiling. And you could tell by the look on his face that Daniel Fleet was in big trouble. It was so funny.
Certainly through God's help, the sanctuary was built, and I know that it's a lot of people, or a lot of people that have come have been saved there, and I'm certainly thankful that I've had a part in building the old sanctuary. Even it might have been small, but I certainly had the privilege of doing that, and I am thankful for it. Thank you.
The story of God's faithfulness to Eastland Baptist Church has continued through this past 15 years as He has enabled us to fill our current 840-seat sanctuary. Many great things have been accomplished by His grace as we have sought to be creative and dynamic in our efforts to move on to greater heights for God's glory. Pastor Durrell's decision for us to go to 2 morning services has proved to be a giant step for us and has contributed to the number of guests we see each Sunday. God has blessed us, enabling us to maintain our community and closeness as a congregation. During this past 3 years, the word new describes many areas of ministry. We have added a new Spanish pastor whose burden is to reach the Hispanic community and whose success in doing so is obvious through the growth of the work. Our weekly men's prayer meeting has reached new heights in attendance. Our new and growing Tots program has been a great blessing to young mothers of the area, and the new Reformers Unanimous Ministry has been effective in giving hope to people who otherwise would probably never come to Eastland Baptist Church. The youth ministry has impacted East Central High School and is regularly seeing results from increased outreach efforts there. Our church-wide outreach team has reached a high of 350 excited and willing laborers in the harvest. The word new also describes recent projects around the property, including a new north parking lot, a new scrolling marquee sign, an exciting new playground, which is very well attended, and a beautifully remodeled family center. All of these projects are just the beginning, as our Vision Fund, which is an expression of the faith of God's people, will enable us to build a new building. This newest facility will expand our capacity to 1,400 and will include a balcony, a greatly enlarged foyer, and a completely remodeled platform. This new home for Eastland Baptist Church will serve the purpose of giving us more space to reach more people in our community. We are trusting our faithful God to enable us to build and to fill this new facility as we move ahead for His glory.